do it. Hi, hello. Yes, my dog will be in this video. Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is my third vlog for the residency. Yeah, third vlog.
Artist and resilience.
It's actually really early today for the first time in a while. This vlog is gonna be a bit different. I really want to show you what I've been doing. So this week I'm gonna focus more on just taking photos and videos of what I'm doing and then putting it in this video and maybe talking to you a bit more during the weekend. I don't have a lot to say about last week. I just finished the costume that I was working on, the narrator costume. I don't know if I explained that too well in the last video, but it's also because I don't really like explaining what I do. I like people to have their own interpretations. But I'm about to put it on, like all of it, for the first time. You can see there's these are new pants that I made for it. I still have to work on the makeup. That's something I might show you. Alongside this recital absurd interest that I have right now, I'm also looking into fables. So for those who don't know, a fable is a story that has a moral to it, and in that story there's both humans and pets. Well, not pets, but animals, and those animals have human characteristics. Walking like humans up straight, and talking, that's a big one. They're anthropomorphic. To start working on this newfound interest in fables, I'm gonna start by making a new costume that's the Puss in Boots. That's a really well-known story. I didn't really like that story that much. I think I just came to this conclusion about the Puss in Boots because I was listening to that CD that I mentioned in the last vlog. They were telling that story and I thought it was really interesting how a cat just randomly needs boots and a hat, and it's actually really interesting. I researched a lot about this fable because it's not, I don't just make, I actually researched. I read 3 versions of this story. This is obviously a kid's story, a fable like I said, and there's in these 3 versions there is a cat in each of these stories, but it's a different cat. It's really hard to trace back folklore things. No one really knows where the story came from, like before it was published in Europe, because it's obviously a big thing in Europe, this story. I was reading that it came from somewhere in India, like some tale they have there, but it's really hard to know because there's a lot of tales about just animals that help people achieving things, and that's basically what this story is about. So there's 3 versions of this story. One is by Giovanni Francesco, and I have to read this so I don't butcher it, Straparola. This is the original story. This is the first written version, and it's a bit different from the story we all know. I think most of us know the one written by Charles Perrault or Perrault. So this original story by Straparola is actually about this man, Costantino Fortunato, which means lucky Costantino. Fortunato means lucky. It tells the story of this woman that has 3 children and she's really poor. This is going to be a constant in all the stories. She's really poor and she has these 3 children and she leaves them her nice belongings, and the younger one ends up getting a cat. And he's really upset about it, and in all the 3 stories they have that. It's a family that comes from poverty, there's a parent dying, a single parent, and they leave them different things. And they all kind of relate to pastries and bread, which is something I found really interesting. Bread was a really big thing back then. Not everyone was able to buy bread and to have bread in their house. But going back to the story, Costantino, the youngest son that ends up with the cat, he's really upset about it because the cat obviously can't really give him anything. But the cat is actually a fairy fairy in disguise, and this is something that I think most of the stories don't talk about. They don't really specify if the cat is a he or a she. Charles Perrault called this story the Master Cat or the Puss in Boots, and that's where the name in English came from. The cat in this story is a he. In Giambattista's story, the cat is a she. So, the cat is a fairy in disguise, and in order to help Costantino, it goes around killing these small animals to give to the king as a gift from its master, Costantino. Obviously, this is all a lie. Another thing that's the same throughout these three stories is that the cat orders its owner to just go into a lake naked. So when the king is passing by, the cat cries for help, and the king is forced to help the owner, Costantino, out of the water. And the cat says that he's been robbed of everything he has. So the king just gives him clothes and everything. And in these three stories, they mentioned that this main character, the youngest son that gets the cat, he's really poor, but he's really good looking. So when he puts on the clothes that are given by the king just immediately accepts him as one of his own. To prove its owner is rich, the cat takes the king's servants in a journey. And in that journey, he's always ahead because he's talking to the people he finds along the way. So they lie about whose lands they're reaping or whose hoards they're looking after, and they all say they respond to Master Costantino. In every story, the cat gives a title to his owner. In the first story is Messer Costantino. In the second version by Giambattista Basile, the cat calls its owner Gagliuso. It's just something in the middle of the story. The owner is actually called Pippo, but the cat just decides it's Gagliuso. And in the Charles Perrault version, which I think is the most well-known version, where there's a miller that's really poor, and he leaves to his three sons, his mill, his donkey, and the cat. This story, weirdly enough, doesn't really have any names at all. In this story that we all know, the cat calls its owner the Marquis of Carabas. Only the first story mentions fairies or any magical sort of thing that happens to the cat, because the other stories just take the cat as being a pretty normal character with human traits that talks and everyone just accepts it. It's me from the future. Yeah, I realized I didn't finish telling the story. What happens is the cat's owner gets rich and ends up marrying the king's daughter in all the three versions. So I'll be working on this for this week. I'll try to build a costume based on all of this information that I've gathered. So for this new costume, most of the inspiration comes from these stories and what is different in them. The cat being a fairy, for instance, that might be something I include in the costume. I want it to be something that looks like a cat, it acts like a cat, maybe it meows. It's gonna have human characteristics. Like I said in the last video, it's gonna stand, it's gonna walk on maybe two legs. I've actually made some drawings. These are really basic drawings of just cats. The idea I have of cats and how I can make a costume that looks like a cat. They look a lot like cats, and I don't want that for this costume. One of my main inspirations, I think, as well for this is going to be Andrew Lloyd Webber's Cats, the musical. I watched the new film some weeks ago, just out of curiosity. So last week I was watching Cats, the musical that they put on YouTube, and I thought it was really interesting, the costumes, how they look, and how people act in the costumes. I don't understand why people think it's so weird, because it's a weird musical anyway. The film is going to be weird, the musical is weird, everything is really weird. So I'm getting inspired from that weirdness, from that embracing of just, there are people dressed up as cats in a stage that's too big for them, so they look small. Obviously, I'm not going to dress up in lycra and put a lot of fur on me. Lycra is not flattering for anyone. Departing from these inspirations of what I've researched and what I have watched from cats, I'll just try and put together a costume of something that looks like a cat. You make me un poco loco. So this piece was actually supposed to be for the headpiece, so I would kind of just build the head on from this, but I don't know. I mean, it looks like the hat that he wears now. It's just a simple helmet with cardboard. Maybe just put some ears here. We'll see. This is what I've got so far. It's not great. What I wanted to do was, like, if you see it without the hat, it maybe makes more sense. What I wanted to do was this, so I can talk through it, and this would be the cat head. But I think I'll have to stuff these. I think I got it now. I think, oh, but I think you can see like this, at least it's not like just dying. The hat is like tight, so you know it's not gonna fall off. I'm not gonna do this, but you know, you just have to try every single thing. It's now Thursday and I have finished the top part of the costume, I think. This should be it. I can't really see what's going on. I can't really tell you if this is what I want, but it probably is. You know. What I'm thinking with this is that I wanted to keep my mouth free so I can talk. This is what I've done so far this week. The hat, it's got the little ears. All of this is foam. It's my first time working with foam. It looked like a potato before. It doesn't look like a potato anymore, I think. And now I need to work on my bottoms. I'm gonna make them from these old curtains. Let's see what happens. It's Friday today, I'm back in my studio. I've been here all week and I've been working on that costume of the cat. You've seen so far what I've done with it and how everything has been kind of made. Obviously I didn't record everything. A lot of it is just me trying to figure out what to do with what things. Today I'm gonna work on the rest of it, like the body of it and the boots. I just finished my boots. They're made of foam as well, like the head. I still need to work on the right leg one. I think I'll do that next week. Besides the boots, I also finished this part of the costume. It's got a little cape, which I like a lot. I think that's all for me and my boots. Aww. I hope you enjoyed this new kind of vlog. I try to make it a little more informative, try to show you a little bit of the behind the scenes of what I do. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to subscribe to my channel to see more of these vlogs and like this video. Also, follow me on social media to know a bit more about my work and what I've been doing here. I think this is going to be it for this week. I'll sign off now. Be happy, keep creating, and keep your hopes up because you never know when things might happen. Bye guys.